AJ McCarron, I hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
What's up, Ryan? Good to be back, man.
It was quick. It was quick. We just had you a couple of weeks ago, man, but we had to reach out to you and just get you on and talk about the big news. We celebrated this for 2.5 hours yesterday on the program. Fans calling in, man. They're excited as probably as you were last night.
Oh, yeah. It's just a beautiful moment for, not only myself, but my family, and just to see what the next chapter of our life holds. And, it's crazy just to sit there and go through everything, and then just truly know in your heart that God's got a plan, and you just got to let it work out, and it did. So we're just super happy, super blessed, and just can't wait to see what we have for the future.
How did you spend your day? I know that Quarterback Country and David Morris put out a big film that you'd worked that morning and prepared and tried to get your mind off of it. But how did you spend yesterday?
Yeah, so we work out 4 days a week and throw 3, and yesterday, was my workout day, just working out, and so we work out and throw on Friday. So, but yeah, I just went in. We always work out at 6 a.m. every morning. So I couldn't sleep the night before. I probably didn't fall asleep. Like, I laid in bed forever. Probably didn't fall asleep till about 1 in the morning, and then woke up at 5:30, and then went and worked out and came back home real quick. Tried to sit at the house for a little bit while the wife and kid were still sleeping, and finally went in there and told her, like, I got to go. I got to get out. I sit here. I think about it. So I just went and ate lunch with my cousin, and who I'm really close with, and spent some time with him, and just tried to get away from it all, and went back to the house. And after all that, and kind of sat there for a little bit and hung out, and then was just starting to think, well, maybe it's not going to come today, and you have bad thoughts as a human. Just well, maybe if it's taking this long, it's not going to be right. They're going to win, blah blah blah. And so it was just kind of stressful moment. But when I got that call from my lawyer, and he just said, "You won," and I had to ask him again to make sure, and then I ran upstairs and told Catherine. She was crying and hugging me, and so it was just a very special moment for us. So
I can only imagine, and I think the one thing that I was sitting in a restaurant here in Tuscaloosa, and I scrolled through Twitter, and I'm sure you probably saw some of the reports that they didn't even think that it may come down, and I said, "Oh man, you got to be kidding!" That
I know,
and that was the thing that grabbed me. It's like, oh man, this guy's waited for all this length of time, and now it may not even come down today. It may be delayed another day.
I know. I was in the same boat as you were. It was kind of tough because I know arbitrator Doss supposedly had heart surgery like a month ago, I'd heard, but I was just hoping, of course, hoping that he was healthy and in good spirits and everything, but I was hoping if he's out, can we just contact somebody else to maybe send the email or press the send button or something. So, I didn't want that to happen to me twice in 1 year. And so I was just hoping, that it would go through and somehow find out and not have to wait another night. But, it was just awesome to get that call.
AJ, it has to be. And I don't know if you feel this. I know you're down in Mobile, but it's like the fans that support you, no doubt you're a fan favorite, but it has to feel awesome to you that, and I don't really know how to say this, but they kind of take ownership in what you've been able to accomplish. Does that make any sense? It's like they're pulling for you so hard. I mean, we've never done this with Run a Player, but we had a 2-hour celebration here yesterday with fans calling in. I mean, it's kind of like they take pride in seeing you have a lot of success.
Well, I say this from, the absolute bottom of my heart. I love Alabama fans to the fullest. I mean, they're what makes, the University of Alabama great. I mean, that's what it comes down to when you think about it. It's not, the great coaches that have coached there or all the great players. Like it's the fans that make that place so special. And and I just love my relationship with all our fans. I cherish every fan that I've ever met. I mean, it's always a new story or, how they became a fan. I mean, it's always just a very humbling, blessed moment whenever you get to talk to somebody about it. And I'm just, very thankful and happy that I can make them proud. And hopefully I can still do that in the future. I never want to let anybody down, and that's kind of my, going to be my message to upcoming teams is, listen, I work my tail off. I've always, found a way to win ball games, and nobody's going to outwork me, and I just put it on that. And but I mean, that's what it comes down to, and I absolutely love the Alabama fans, and it's always them and the university and every part of it always have a special piece of my heart.
AJ, where does the work ethic come from? Who instilled that into you?
I think just my parents. I mean, just because of my upbringing, we didn't have anything at all. I mean, we were, old saying, dirt poor. I grew up in a trailer for a while. My family, my whole family has never really had anything at all. And so my mom worked 3 jobs. My dad worked 3 jobs. On top of being a firefighter, they both just busted their tails. And I saw that growing up my whole time. They never quit. They never, try not to, give us things like if we worked our butts off, they always repaid us. And so, it was just, it's just them. That's just the people they are. And I've just been blessed to have such great parents to really teach me that.
Yeah, Jim McElwain, I don't know if I want to share this, but I'm going to share because it's a positive. It's about your work ethic. Jim McElwain once told me here on the program, I asked him, I said, what separates AJ McCarron from other quarterbacks that you develop? He said, we'd have to run him out of the film room. He said, we would literally have to run him out. We would say, AJ, we've prepared enough. We've went over the line. We've spent too much time in the film room. We've got to go home. You'd have to get, he said, he would be one of those gym rats, I think's the way he said it, and film study guys. He said, we would literally have to force him to go home. That's the work ethic. There was nobody going to outwork him. He was a lunch pail type guy.
Yeah, that's the thing I've always kind of tried to, really pride myself on is, because I understand, I'm not the most talented arm guy, and with speed and everything else, but I feel, there's plenty of examples of successful QBs in the league, and what it comes down to is their work ethic. And so that's the main thing I try to do is prepare as much as possible, be ready to go. And I love playing sports in general, but I love football. That's what's fun. That's what I grew up on at the age of 3 turning 4 when I first started football. My parents didn't put me in it. I wanted to play it because I love playing in the yard. I love throwing. So, that's just the way I've always been in sports. And so it's worked out for me.
AJ, I tried to explain this yesterday. I'd read a quote there in the Cincinnati paper. I believe it was the Inquirer that had a quote from you a couple of days ago. And it was talking about, and I tried to explain this, but being a college town, we're all about the college game. Don't know a lot about the technicality about the NFL. But there was no hard feelings towards AJ McCarron in Cincinnati. It was strictly just a business going to arbitration. A lot of people hear arbitration and they think, oh, it's negative. But it wasn't about that with Cincinnati and you, was it?
No, not at all. I had a great relationship with Mr. Brown, Miss Katie, Mr. Troy. my acting GM, I mean, Coach Lewis, all my coaches. It was never anything personal because I was there every day and busting my tail, and I think they can tell you that themselves. But and you know, getting drafted late, I mean, I felt like I came in and worked my butt off, and but it was never anything personal at all. I mean, it was all strictly business. It's just the way the NFL is. You know, just the average fan that doesn't know a lot about the NFL, there's a lot of things that go into a contract other than, oh, well, he signed, like, let's just play football. Like, you still, you know, as a player, you have to look out for what's best for your future, and them running a business is doing the same thing. So, but it was never anything personal. We always had a great relationship, and you know, even though it ended the way it did, I felt like I could always pick up the phone and call them if I ever needed them.
We're talking to AJ McCarron right now, winning his quarterback in Alabama history, spending some time talking some Alabama Crimson Tide football, and obviously about the NFL. The great news: unrestricted free agent, March the 14th, 3:00 local time. AJ McCarron will become an unrestricted free agent. What is next for you in sort of this process? I know you'll continue to work out and train as hard as you've ever been. What's that next step? What is just waiting to March the 14th?
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, I'm kind of new to, or actually, I am new to all this. I haven't even really talked to my agent. I know it's just when it starts going, it's just going to be a busy time when it all goes down. But from what I know, I just got to wait till then. Just keep doing what I'm doing, working my butt off, and then, you know, hopefully we'll get a couple options and then go from there. But yeah, so I'm just working out and just waiting on that time, really.
What's important as you begin to evaluate in the phone calls that you're going to get? What's the number one thing that you're thinking about as you look at those options?
Well, I mean, of course, you know, you want the best option to, not only play. I think if a team's picking you up, they're going to pick you up to play in this free agency. But I just want to win. I want to see, you know, what the remaining parts of the team are, and can we be successful? Do I think with me going there, can we be successful? Can I help that team out? So it really just comes down to winning, because when you win, winning takes care of everything else. And so, that's my number one goal is I want to win a Super Bowl. I've been blessed to be on some unbelievable teams growing up. I mean, even from park ball all the way up, I've won a championship at every level. And so now making it to this level finally, and finally, hopefully getting my chance to start. So, like I said, my biggest thing is I just want to win.
Was it hard being patient?
I mean, you know, me and my wife were sitting last night, and you'll be the first to hear it because I haven't really talked to anybody about it. But, you're sitting there at draft day, and you're so upset that you keep falling and everything else. And then we were talking about, really, it was a blessing in disguise, because I think she said it best on her Instagram post that she showed me after we found out. But that time really taught me just a ton of humbleness and just being gracious and taking every moment. You know, that's one of the things I wish, and I never say I could take anything back, but this is one of the moments I wish I could take back, was my senior year, to where I really enjoyed the moment with my teammates more than trying to push everybody all the time to be the best and to win every game. Like, I wish I could go back and really enjoy the relationships, and because I have some great relationships with teammates, still to this day, a ton of them that I still talk to and text me yesterday. And, but I wish I could go back and really spend more time to cherish those moments with those guys, and really end up being a better teammate. But us as humans, we always go through a learning process. And I think it was a blessing in disguise to really learn the patience part. And it's helped me grow as a person, grow as a father, and grow as a player and a teammate. And so, everything works out for a reason. Like I said, God's got a plan, and I think everything's worked out so far.
AJ, certainly, what you guys were able to accomplish, 3 national titles, 2009, 2011, 2012, the run that you guys were able to make, and you look at the current success, 5 out of the last 9, playing for arguably one of the greatest coaches to ever walk the sidelines, if not the greatest. Is there one favorite memory that you have about Nick Saban? And I don't want you to share those inside, but I know that quarterback head coach relationship. I was looking at photos a couple months ago trying to decide one to put up, and you can see the relationship that you and Nick Saban had here at the University of Alabama. Is there one favorite story that you could share with us about Nick Saban behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, we got so many. Me and him, I think we were just, not to brag or anything, but I think we were one of the best combos. I mean, he got me, I got him. I knew what he wanted. He knew what I wanted. I mean, I felt like we just really worked great together. But I'd probably say the Florida game, when he told me to calm down, there was another word in between that. And then, because he knew that he just saw how much passion I was playing with and how fired up I was. And then to lose after the LSU game, he literally brought me into his office. So I went in there every Sunday and sat with him and would just talk for a little bit, really not even about football. But then he told me he said, for the remainder of the year, don't listen to me on how to play. You just play your game, and I'll be fine with it. And so I think that was one of the best moments because he really took a step forward and seeing who I was as a player, and I took a step forward and trust with him. Like, all right, he really trusts me, and he trusts how I play, and I just got to play that way every week. And so I think that was one of the coolest moments that we had together.
I love the story that you go walking up to his office in 2009 with your shoulder pad still on. That was the best story to me.
Oh yeah, that's an all-time classic for sure. I mean, I walk up there and start telling him, I mean, you gotta play me. I thought you told me you want me to show you what I can do and everything, and I've had such a good summer, and I said, and then you stick me with the 4s, and at that time we were going against like Hightower, Terrence Cody, Rolando, I mean Kareem Jackson, Javi, and we had so many guys, and every time I got the ball, I mean, we were getting sacked, and I don't even know if we got a playoff that day, and I said, well, how in the heck do you want me to show you what I can do when I'm with that group? And he just looked at me after and said, "You done?" Yeah, I'm done. And he said, "Well, today we were testing your leadership skills, and you failed miserably. Good job." And I was like, "Oh man!" And so I kind of just got up and walked out. And ever since then, I never questioned him on that again.
Final question. Daytona, and I know you're a gigantic racing fan. Where did the racing background come from? Because I see you tweeting about it, and, I mean, you're a racing fanatic. Where did that come from?
So my grandfather, down here in Mobile, well, it's called Mobile International Speedway, but it's in Irvington, and it's a small track, just a half-mile track, and my grandfather back in the day used to race out there. It was a dirt track at that time. But that was way before me. And so when I was younger, I mean, we went every Friday night. We would go out there and watch racing. And I mean, it was just in my blood at that time. And I just loved it. And so, over my years, even in college, I got to drive the pace car at Talladega, and I became good friends with so many drivers. I mean, Dale Jr., Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse. I mean, just Clint Boyer, Jeff Gordon, just a list of greats. And so it just kind of amped it up way, even more. Every time I get in a car now, I think I'm on Vegas track and I can beat anybody. But and so yeah, I have a racing simulator downstairs in my theater room, and which my wife doesn't really care for because I race a lot. But yeah. So
do you win? I mean, that's the most important thing. Do you win?
Oh heck yeah, I win.
Okay.
I'm already up to a B class. I'm trying to get my A class rating, and then after A class, it's Pro Series, and so.
Now,
hopefully
do you take what you always used to say, take what the defense will give you, or are you a grinder? Are you a guy that likes to put people on the wall, or you just go with a strategy?
No. I'm not a dirty driver because you get a bad name. It's just like in, actual NASCAR. Like you can create some enemies and then you go up on the high side coming to the last lap or trying to make it 3 wide and guys don't want to run with you. Then you get freight train and everybody starts flying by you. So no, I'm a good team driver. Like I run with guys and become friends with guys, and so on there that are on the iRacing series, and so I'm not a grinder. I just take what they give me, and then hopefully I find an opening, and then I can take it away.
Hey, who's your pick for Daytona?
Oh man, hopefully they can have like the first tie ever. It's so hard to pick because I got so many good friends. Hopefully, Ricky wins, or Bubba Wallace, or Blaney. I mean, hopefully one of those guys wins. But I mean, I got so many other friends, but they're just young. They're young and upcoming drivers, and it'd be awesome to see them get a Daytona 500 win.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Bubba Wallace being from the state of Alabama, and the ties back, and Richard Petty's car, all those great things.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome to see it. He's well deserving, and he's an unbelievable person. So it's definitely awesome to see him out there.
AJ, thank you again for your time. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the celebration. Obviously, we're pulling for you. We don't know a lot about this free agency stuff and how this is going to work, but certainly we're going to be following it. We got a ton of guys on next week, all the NFL scouts, and we'll get their opinion and draft. And I mean, this thing could impact the NFL draft. I mean, it's gigantic, and we're excited for you, man. Thank you again for being a part of the show.
Always, Ryan. I appreciate everything, man. And we will talk soon again for sure.
Thank you, AJ. Have a great weekend.
Yep, y'all too.